Welcome back to Dad's Deals and Dumbbells, the show where dad life crashes into business growth, barbells, caffeine, and all the chaos that comes with trying to be a halfway functioning adult. I'm Joe Germanco, a lawyer and entrepreneur by day and a subpar triathlete at night. Tries to do his best to keep his 12 and 17-year-old kids alive and, importantly, out of jail.
That's a very good goal. I'm Dr. Mitch Quill, chiropractor, business owner, fitness nerd, enthusiast, and professional kid wrangler to 3 kids running his own defense with my wife and business partner. Today we're diving into something a lot of listeners have asked about, expanding your business. When to do it, how to know when you're ready, and how not to burn your company to the ground in the process or burn out yourself.
Yeah. Let's be real. Going to expansion, it gets glamorized. It sounds fantastic. Instagram makes it sound like everybody and look like everybody's opening their 4th location, hiring a dozen people. But behind the scenes, it's messy. It's stressful and can expose all the cracks in your operations, your cash flow, and frankly, your sanity.
Yeah, definitely. Joe, this is a perfect topic because you're literally in the middle of an expansion right now. So you got a new office, just got a new staff accepting an offer, like you mentioned, more leads flooding in. So how you doing with it?
Sleep has been challenging.
Yeah.
the past month and a half or so. The sleep in your dead kind of chapter of my business is alive and well, and I'm blessed. Reborn. I've become a big person the past year using the term of evolution, business evolution, and growth is one thing. I look at it as evolution in a large degree. Having gone from, a firm where we started off with a handful of cases, not enough to pay the rent, to where we are now, where we just hired our 8th attorney, who will start with us here in a few weeks, plus support staff in several locations. So this expansion is kind of a big one, and we haven't gone into it lightly. So I'm happy to share some of the things that I've found along the way, and fingers crossed it's all going to work out.
Definitely big steps.
Yeah. So before we do that, let's talk though about wins and fails of the past week, Mitch.
Yep.
What do you got?
Wins. Let's see. Yeah, we had a good, successful, a business meeting on Saturday morning with one of our mentors. Talking about a little bit of expansion, what we did right in the past, how we could maybe add 1 to 2, 3 more locations in the future too for us. So that was cool, kind of setting up some goals with that. Another win, I would say we were able to get the kids out on Saturday night. Saw you at a fundraiser for Operation Christmas. So the kids had a good time. They ate their food, they ate their candy. They got to see Santa Claus. So that was a win-win. Fails, don't have any off the top of my head right now.
No fails, that's good.
I'll say more like office fails, just headaches at the office as usual.
Yeah.
Managing people stuff.
Yeah. I will say, and we talked about this a little bit before, I'm always fascinated by the business coach that you have. And I know this is kind of an industry thing. The concept in the practice of law of having a business coach is incredibly foreign. I've never heard of anybody having one. I don't think it's a bad idea.
For sure.
Especially people that have certain expertise to help people grow and figure out where the holes are in their business and how things work. I think that's phenomenal. And I think probably one of these days we probably ought to have that as a topic on the show.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For us, we didn't learn this stuff in school. Like we were taught how to be a doc, how to be a good chiropractor. Like not even how to be a good chiropractor, just the basics to kind of get you going, and then you have to have that curiosity to kind of learn more. They did not teach us anything in business, and then kind of know, like, if you know people that have gone there before, like where you want to go, you got to talk to them, and sometimes you got to pay them a little bit. But even my mom, because she's an executive at a bank, she even has mentioned like she has like a person that she has like part of her like package is like they pay for the business coach or like a coach, like executive coach and all that stuff. So it's a thing in other industries that I'm aware of.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know the extent of other industries because I'm kind of stuck in my own little hole.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a great thing. I really do. Professions oftentimes don't have any kind of actual teaching knowledge about the business practice. And law is the same way. You learn how to research cases, how to do things in court, how to handle legal issues and write and so forth. They don't teach you squat about actually running a practice. No. Nothing. It's kind of embarrassing, to be honest, from an entrepreneur's kind of standpoint. True, it is.
Yeah, don't use the lawyer offices as a textbook. Or some lawyer offices.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They vary greatly.
Yeah.
So,
what about you? What are your wins and fails?
Well, a win, I would say the big win I got maybe a couple hours ago with this expansion we're doing. We've been searching for a new attorney to add to the staff. We found one who I think is going to be fantastic. I think she's a great match. She's got a good experience behind her, and she should be able to hit the ground running. The only downside is that she can't start with us for about close to a month. But I will tell you for myself as a business owner, I will never ask an employee to kick their current employer to the ground and run away and burn that bridge, because I don't ever want anyone doing it to me.
For sure.
It's hard to find good people. And when you get them, you want to keep them. And I'm a relationship person. I don't ever want someone to burn a relationship, because you never know when it's going to come back. It's going to pay.
Everything tends to come full circle anyways.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I think she's going to be a good fit. And for this first step of the expansion, I think it's going to go well. So I'm excited about that. Fails for the past week. I have been much worse about getting out of bed and going to work out. I've had a few days where I've just not done it.
Is it the cold or just tired?
It is. It's not the cold. I think it's tired. I think it's tired. You know, and the other part, honestly, the other piece of it is this: I don't have an event, a fitness goal that is close enough on the calendar that I have to train for.
Oh, yeah.
And because I don't have anything to train for right now, I can be like, you know what, I worked out 4 days this week. That's enough.
I need to
take
recover.
a break. And you know what? I think probably from an athletic standpoint, that's probably a good thing, right? Rest days. I will say when I'm actually in training for something, very seldom do I have a complete rest day where I don't do anything. Almost never.
But you have more active recovery days.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been a little bit more accepting of, I don't want to say being lazy, but just,
you have rest days.
I've had rest days. Yeah. So the fitness app that I use, I'm tracking my progress, and it just keeps kind of going like this.
Down.
down.
Does the app
every
track
so often it goes up a little bit, and then it goes back down.
Is it frequency of working out, or is it tracking any biomarkers?
It tracks, well, so the up and down part is mainly based off of cardio and the stress rate you put on your body.
Mm-hmm.
So not just hours of time that you spend, but how vigorous it was. Yeah. So this morning when I swam for whatever it was, 40 minutes or so, it doesn't make a huge difference because my heart rate when I swim doesn't get that high, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
If I go out and I run for the same amount of time, it'll be,
shoot through the roof.
It'll be a lot higher. Yeah. I mean, this body's not built to run.
No, neither's mine. Don't worry.
So, anyway, I would say that's probably the fail, is that I've been a little slower to get out and get some exercise in.
We'll blame it on the cold.
Sure. Time change too. I had an extra hour of sleep, so I used it.
Yeah, smart.
I'm not sure if that's the.
That only counts for 1 day, though.
It does.
Not the last week and a half.
It does. But I will say that I've had some sleepless nights in the past, let's say, month and a half. We've decided to do this.
It's allowed. You're allowed.
Yeah, so that's playing into it.
It's a short season, hopefully.
Yeah. So as we talk about business expansion here, we've pulled some stats for the show today to share with our listeners. We can just jump through a few of them here.
For sure.
As we prep for this, I found a stat that is 63% of small and mid-sized business owners plan to expand in the next 12 months. That's more than half.
That's a lot.
That's nearly 2/3.
You said that was from?
That's from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Middle of last year, 2024?
Yeah, and we were talking about this before the show started. I would be curious if they could run the same stats now because of all the tariffs and so forth, because there's certain industries that hit.
Yep.
I mean, I know of one restaurant in town that was supposed to open, and they blamed the tariffs and stuff sitting in the port for not finishing the build-out.
Was that the Brazilian place?
I didn't say that.
I'm so mad they're not open yet.
I don't know. But
that one restaurant is not open, and I would love it to be open because it's across the street from the office.
Yeah.
I love Brazilian steakhouse.
But I've got a friend who's in the textile industry, and so they manufactured drapes. And he had told me at one point that he had a little over $500,000 of product that was sitting in the port in L.A., and he was sitting on it until there was a window of time that he could bring it in where he wouldn't have to be just whacked by the tariffs.
Oh, wow.
So I know that's affected some stuff. But, the core of what this show is about is trying to figure out when to expand. And the fact that nearly 2/3 of businesses want to expand shows that is on people's horizon. And that makes sense. A lot of entrepreneurs don't want to just simply stay stagnant.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Right.
I think I heard someone say that yesterday.
1 in 3 businesses say that expansion is a top priority. That's from Goldman Sachs.
Good.
I found number 4 here on the list pretty interesting. Adding even 1 full-time employee can increase productivity 15 to 25% on average for small businesses. Now, I'm sure that's a business of a handful of employees. We're not talking about 50 employees, because you had 50 employees, you're not going to increase it by that much.
Yeah, you're not moving the needle too much. I would say, I wonder, have you seen it jump each time you bring on an attorney in your office?
I had this conversation with somebody the other day. So the woman who we're hiring is at a firm that has 2 attorneys and her. So there's 3 attorneys total. Mm-hmm. They have no admin help. She was hired originally straight out of law school to do a combination of admin and also do attorney work because that's what they needed. And she was okay with it, and she's done a good job. The first time we went from 2 attorneys to 2 attorneys and a staff member, and then 2 attorneys, staff member, another attorney, those jumps were incredibly difficult to make because adding one more salary to the payroll when you're that small is incredibly painful, and there's a huge leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going from 7 to 8, and yeah, it's an increase in payroll. But when we look at the overall picture of
the production
of gross revenue,
or you trust that production,
we know that, but also the effect is less, right? I mean, our payroll now is substantially higher than it was when we had 2 people on payroll.
Yep.
So adding one more person is really not the big deal. Now, if we look at pure percentages, if we, because when you go from 2 to 3 employees, that's a 50% increase.
Mm-hmm.
If we were doing that right now, that would mean I'd be adding 5 people onto staff right now.
Yep.
Which in one shot would scare the hell out of me.
Yes, because you better get as much revenue out there too.
I mean, and then of course the challenge is it's not just hiring people; it's hiring the right people that are going to be productive and training them. You don't just hire people; you got to actually train them.
Have you noticed that your process has gotten a lot smoother as far as onboarding, training?
Yes, it's evolved over the years. It's changed quite a bit. I mean, where we are now from where we started in first time we hired somebody was probably 20 sports staff. I guess was 2016 late in the year. No, 2016, 2007 late in the year. And then first time we hired an attorney, I think it was 2008, 9 maybe. From there to here, yeah, it's very different. It's very different. But the practice is different. We rely on technology a lot more. So and the other piece of it is this. I used to be involved much more in training every single employee. Mm-hmm. And now I can't do it. There's too many other people involved. And so there are other people who are responsible and direct supervisors for other people in the office. So they have to do part of the training. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't have time to do it all.
Have you noticed if it's better that you're not doing it all? Or now they're getting like
parts,
tidbits from other people?
Parts. So we did a review for somebody today, and I had about 9 months ago, they were going through some tough times, and I started doing one-on-ones with them in order to try to get things back on track. And I asked whether or not that was helpful, and it was. And so, I think back to when we first hired attorneys, there was a lot more one-on-one that I had with them. Mm-hmm. And, the advantage to me doing it is that, as the business owner, then I can teach it the way that I want it to be. For sure. Opposed to counting on someone else to do it.
Yeah.
But you have to, at some point, enable other people to do those things. You can't do it all.
Otherwise, you become the bottleneck.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And then that's the difference between running the business
and being in the business.
Being in the business. Yeah. Right. So you have to evolve at some point and do those kinds of things.
Yep.
So increasing productivity is the idea, but increasing the bottom line really is it at the end of the day. So let's see here. What else we got? Expanding companies are 33% more likely to have maintained positive cash flow for 12 months. Yeah, if you're negative cash flow and you're expanding, I hope you have a really good plan.
Yeah. Hopefully get some injection of capital or something.
Yeah. 48% of business owners cite rising demand as the main driver for expansion. That's again from U.S. Chamber of Commerce. 27% of business owners expand simply to capture the opportunity before other competitors do. I would never do that.
No.
I would never do that. I think that might be.
Is that location specific then?
I don't know. That comes from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Small Business Index. So I would assume that we're talking small businesses there as well. That seems kind of crazy to me. I'm sure in some industries it makes sense, but I don't know. It's almost a Google mentality, stamping out the competition.
State that in the comments if you agree.
Yeah. 81% of people who are expanding cite economic uncertainty as the biggest barrier to expansion. 81%. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, frankly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Especially like you said, with the tariff stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what that's going to be. So they're just going to sit there without having to get hit with a tax.
58% worry about labor costs, which you should. 52% worry about lease and real estate costs, which, again, you should. Labor and facility costs are two of your biggest costs every time.
The good thing is, though, nowadays, kind of what our one guest was talking about, kind of virtual assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps the labor costs down, plus no additional real estate.
Yeah.
But you have to manage it somehow. Somehow get that information out there, train them remotely.
You do. And we have the ability as attorneys to work remotely. I don't have a desk phone anymore. I have an app on my phone where when the office phone rings, it rings to my cell phone.
Is that only when you're in the office or out of office?
Right now, if somebody tried to ring me at my desk, it would ring on my cell phone.
Okay.
And I have it on all the time. But so we have the ability to answer phones from wherever. We have laptops. We have second screens.
Nice.
Our practice management software is in a portal on the web. So we have the ability to be remote. Now, a lot of clients want to see us face to face. I don't know how you do your job remote.
I don't know. I can't.
I don't know how you do that.
I could do. So there's some places that do consults on the phone.
Sure.
Okay, I can run through a basic history. I could do I could guide someone through a basic assessment or an exam from their house. There's
How
some
you gonna adjust
physical therapy. That's the hard part. That's where also AI is never getting my job.
No.
It's not possible. I have seen some robot massage things.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. That I would definitely bring in the office because it's, again, like the number one headache of running a business is just managing people.
Yeah.
If I can tell a robot, do this, it's going to do it the same every single time, which is nice, but we can kind of feed in some variability with it too, which is nice. I can't adjust someone remote. That's not going to happen.
No.
There are some some interesting energy healing docs that'll go, yeah, just send me an email. I'll be able to read your energy through the email. Pay me. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to put anything in there.
I kind of would like to have one of those doctors on the show to be able to have a conversation. Maybe they can make a believer out of me. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. But who knows?
I did visit one. I visited one at when I was a student, and they had this just cassette, it was old VHS cassettes of supplements, almost like tackle boxes, fishing tackle boxes.
Really?
So they had individual supplements in each little cell of the box that put it on your stomach, and then he would point with his finger to the supplement, and then he'd all right, stick your arm out, and then pulse your arm up and down, and until you would kind of push it down, up and down. And then once your arm turned weak, and you'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to whatever. Once your arm would go weak, it's you need 10 of those each day.
What?
Yeah. And then you go, because you went weak at 10, your body knows that you need 10 of those. And you're making the connection, the energy connection.
You're making this shit up.
I am dead serious. This is what he did. He did it to me. And he gave me a whole bag.
Did you pay for this consultation?
No, he gave it to me because I was shadowing as a student.
Okay.
Trying to show off what he was doing. And he gave it all me for free. And he's send me an email after, and I'll be able to read energies through the email. I'll adjust your supplements. So I'm yeah, dude, that's not happening. Sure. No way. I'm all for there is some validity in some of the energy stuff, but not that much. I'm not expanding a business with that at all. Yeah, yeah. Because it's not scalable. What you would, if you were to do that assessment versus me, you'd get two different results.
Right.
That's not. You can't.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right. 20 to 25% of business failures relate to businesses expanding too quickly without systems or cash flow.
Mm-hmm. I would say systems are the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
And hold people to the systems.
Yeah. Companies that expand with documented systems are far less likely to experience operational breakdowns. Poor system companies are 60% more likely to fail after expansion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so our business coach that we saw on Saturday morning, he's the hardest jump is from 1 to 2. Mm-hmm. After that, it's all gravy because he had the systems all locked in. And I think he now owns 20. He runs 20 outside of the Georgia area. And he has parameters and all the things, how he acquires a business, how he acquires a practice, then kind of changes it into his systems and stuff like that. There's certain metrics that he needs. And then he'll say, oh, that's a good practice or not. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this one. 12 months of sustained demand increases the chance of successful expansion. So 12 months of sustained demand.
Doesn't say what kind of demand?
No.
Does it say leads per day, leads per month?
No. No. That's McKinsey & Company, Small Business Growth Signals Data Set. To look that up for more information, I guess. Here's another one from the same study. A stable lead pipeline doubles long-term survival rate when expanding.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about multiple lead pipelines?
I think everyone should have that. If you only have one lead pipeline that feeds everything, that is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster. We had, I think I've talked about it before on the show. We had at one point an insurance company that we had 300 or 400 open cases for them. We had three or four attorneys who really just did work for them. That was pretty much it. And there was a change in middle management, and somebody else came in who doesn't like me, and I don't even know why. I've known the guy for 20 plus years, and at some point I pissed him off, and I have no idea why. I didn't even know that I was that important to him. And he decided to stop sending us cases, and they didn't bother to tell me. And we had several people on staff who were just really working on those cases. So once I realized what was going on, we weren't getting the leads. I had to lay off 3 people in a day. It was terrible.
Yeah,
it was terrible. So that's when you have a tremendous amount of your business leads coming from one source, that is a potential recipe for disaster, in my opinion.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, we'll notice when Google changes their algorithm because the leads will start changing from there. So we'll have to edit a couple things.
You notice it that quickly?
My wife will notice it within a week or two, a month or two.
Well, we talk about a business funnel, and for people who aren't as familiar with the term, think of a funnel, and all your leads come into the top of the funnel, and then of course they filter down to the ones that you actually convert to clients and to paying business and so forth. The larger the funnel you have, the more business leads you're going to catch.
Law of averages.
Right. So, having a multifaceted funnel that brings stuff in is the way that every business owner should go.
Definitely.
So anyway, let's talk about how to figure out when it's time to expand. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you're talking. Are you in the early stages of talking about expanding?
Long time.
Long time. Okay.
Yeah, because Ella already has her satellite that's in Naperville there, but long distances.
Yeah. So I'll throw this out there for other small business owners that have one location. We have our main office where we own the building, and we've been we're very involved in the community and so forth. We have 2 satellite offices that we've had for several years in neighboring communities. And the reason we originally set those up were really for 2 main reasons. We wanted to have a digital footprint in their community. A lot of people want to hire a lawyer who's near them. Yep. They don't want to go to the town next door. They just don't. And then, so we had 2 satellite offices there where we have they're like work share spaces, basically. We use them when we need to use them. We don't keep them staffed full time. But it lets us meet clients there, and then it also filters clients to us. And because of the phone system the way it is, when you call that office, it still rings in our main office. And now we have a loop-based office, so we have a Chicago office. Same kind of thing. The difference with the Chicago office is that we are expecting quite a bit of business to be in Chicago, and we don't think those clients are going to want to drive out to us when they want to meet in person.
Probably not.
We'll still be using Zoom probably to meet with a lot of clients, phone conferences, and so forth. I do have a client in town who's literally a mile from the office, who I've never met in person. And I've done work for him for probably about 4 or 5 years now.
Wow.
He just prefers to do it via Zoom. And
when he's Zooming, where is he? Is he in
he's
his
a
house?
mile down the road in his house. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you get through the door?
He can, okay. Yes. This is not a physically can't come in. It is a choosing not to come in.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there are certain practice areas that we have where people don't want to do that. Almost inevitably with estate planning, those clients want to be in the office. They want to be face-to-face. Mm-hmm. With a lot of business stuff, a lot of business people don't care. Personal injury things, especially when we're doing a hospital visit, I'm there in person. I'm in the ICU or wherever it is. So it kind of depends on what the case is and so forth, whether I have to be in person or not. But an easy way to expand is to go the route of like a Regis office, or there's a couple different kinds. Now, of course, I'm going to forget all the different ones, but it's a work share kind of a space where you can get a digital office or a virtual office. And then when you need to meet clients, you can rent the office. So there's different levels of that kind of stuff.
Is that similar to like the shared space?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So the 2 that we already had, we don't have dedicated offices there. Mm-hmm. When we need to meet a client there, we use the conference room. And
just pay a fee for that?
Well, one of them we don't pay a fee. One of them we just reserve it whenever we want. You can use the common area whenever you want.
Yep.
And the other one, we just rent an office or we rent a conference room whenever we need to rent.
So then your Loop office will be fully staffed then?
So the Loop office, we have a physical office there, and it's in full disclosure, I'll be transparent with this. The office that we have is within a friend of mine's office he's in the building I first started off in. He's been there for 20 plus years. He's got a suite. He's got a couple extra offices right now, so we're going to rent an office from him. I suspect within a few months we're going to probably rent a second office from him, and maybe a secretarial assistant workstation as well. So he's got some extra space.
Yep.
In large metropolitan areas like Chicago, there's a lot of office space that's vacant.
Yep.
A lot. Because one of the things the pandemic did, of course, is that you saw a lot of businesses.
Wiped it all out.
Huge. So this building that we're going to be in is the building I first started off in as a lawyer. And out of curiosity, last week, I went on to their website to see what spaces they have available. There's a ton. There are a ton.
Which isn't, but then fully leasing that space out right now would probably be a little premature.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. So we are doing a calculated expansion.
Smart.
It is possible within a year we're going to double in size, which scares the hell out of me, to be honest. because that's a lot of growth. It doesn't mean we can't do it, but my biggest barrier to growing that size, I don't think is actually going to be getting the business. I think we can do that. I think the biggest barrier is going to be finding the people who want to do the work. Because that has been, for the past few years, especially since COVID, but for the past few years, that's been the biggest challenge.
Do the work in person or just do the work at all?
Do the work at all.
Interesting.
So with brand new attorneys, I'm very hesitant about the idea of them working a substantial amount of time remote, because there's a lot of stuff that you don't know until you do it. And you also don't want people to develop bad habits. So there is tremendous value to being in an office around other attorneys. When you have a question on something you're working on and you can get up and you can walk 20 feet and go into someone else's office and ask a question, there's a lot of value to that. Can you do it virtually? Yes, you can. But there is some value to being there and having that face-to-face time. So, and I especially see that true for newer attorneys, but even for established attorneys. My dad practiced as a solo attorney for most of his career. And he practiced kind of in a vacuum. Now, he would have colleagues he could talk to. He would go to events and talk to other attorneys. But there's a lot of value to having other people around. So I like the fact that we are there in another firm's space, because even though they don't do the same kind of stuff we do, there is some benefit to that.
Some collaboration.
Yeah. So this.
Plus, I wonder if you guys are like screening leads. You go, well, you probably go over there.
Yeah.
They can go over to you.
100%. And we always refer business off to people who we have trust in, who we know do good work, whether it's lawyers or chiropractors or whoever it may be. We want to refer people to people who we know will do well for them. And so that's also an added benefit. And it may work the other way too. We may get some business from them. But yeah, this expansion that we're going through right now is calculated. I know what we need right now. I'm not positive what we're going to need 6 months or a year from now. I know the direction it's going, and I know where it could go. So I'm trying to get there without hiring a whole bunch of people, which we can't train all at once. So we're scaling up bit by bit. I'm sure somebody out there is going to be like, you should just throw more money at it and make it work. Maybe.
You can also just light it on fire right now.
You can just light it on fire, burn the whole damn thing down.
Have you thought, or have you heard of it where you just like hire 2 people at once and then see who fails and who succeeds?
That is an interesting corporate idea.
That's also like letting money on fire, kind of. Or if they both work, hey, there you go.
Yeah, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, as a business owner, I think that is a very fascinating idea. I think it's terrible from a human standpoint. I don't like running our office like a corporation like that is soulless. I just don't. I don't.
We've had that suggestion like proposed to us a couple times. I'm like, no.
It seems very brutal to me.
And I'm coming from like an athletic competition background where it's like, you got to like sink or swim.
I think there's probably a place for that.
I'm okay with it, but like maybe not in that sense.
I think there's a place for it. I don't think that the place is in small business though.
No.
I just don't. I wouldn't want to be treated that way. It's a lot of, I don't know.
No, plus for us as a small business, that costs a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
Unless you go, hey, I'm going to pay each of you one salary between the 2 of you. Like no one's going to go for that.
Yeah. So a couple of big markers as people consider whether or not they want to do something like this. We talked about some stats as far as why people do it, but I think 3 big ones are you've outgrown your current capacity, not for a week.
No, but for 12 months.
for a consistent period of time. Yeah. You know that there is a solid opportunity coming your way that is going to generate business. That's a good time, right? You have to know that you can financially sustain the new overhead because people want to get paid. They don't want to work for free.
No.
I don't like the idea. I know some law firms that work on solely a commission base, basically is what it is, where you get to eat what you kill. There are some lawyers who like that. Most don't. Most
people don't.
Most people do not. Nope. So, you need to be able to sustain the new overhead for 6 to 12 months without complete panic. And hopefully during that time, you won't need that much time before it'll cash flow properly. But there will be a period of time. This new attorney that we're hiring, when they start with us, they're going to be with us for a month before we see a single dollar potentially come in from the work they do because they're going to have new clients who are going to pay us a retainer, but we don't make that money right away. We need to go through, at least a month before we send them a bill. And then once we send them a bill, it's going to take a little time before they pay the bill. So there is going to be some lag time there. So you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, I think we were told 5-6 months of salary in a savings. Just kind of set it aside and be done.
Yeah. And, the industry, depending upon the industry you're in, that number can, of course, change and depend on a whole bunch of factors. But the longer you've been doing it, the more you have an idea about what kind of cash flow you can expect.
Yeah, bit of a better pulse. For us, we had to wait 3 to 6 months for insurance money to come back. So for us, 6 months was kind of a good runway.
Right. And, of course, your systems, they need to not break under pressure. If things crumble with modest growth, scaling is going to be a real challenge.
Yep.
And
that's our biggest headache. Is keeping people to the system, because now the question is, did the system work or did you just not do it?
Yeah.
And then holding people to the system.
We had a meeting today over lunch for the whole office where we were talking about some logistical changes that we're making because of what's about to happen literally in less than a week, where we start getting more business starts rolling in. And one of the things I reinforced several times is this is what we've got set up that we think is going to work. This is part what we've done before, but we have to make some changes for certain things. And it may not be perfect. And you may need to adapt. You may need to change the way you're doing things. And we may need to redo how we're doing certain things. So we have a plan in place.
Here's the outline.
Here's the outline.
Expect stuff to go crazy.
Expect it to change. Expect that we're going to have to do things on the fly. I don't want to change every single time there's an issue. Yep. I think that's a bad move. But I think it would be unwise to have a plan, stick to the plan no matter what happens, and not realize that maybe you've got a plan that needs to be adjusted.
Yeah.
So we're ready to do that. Hopefully it's going to work out.
Have you had a hard time telling your employees, like, hey, you're going to have to adapt, and them understanding what that means, or a framework of how to adapt?
I think that they have understood that they're going to be busier. I don't think that they fully conceptualize what it's going to be like on a day-to-day basis, and I don't know that any of them will until it really starts. And then, there's this balance, too, between we're going to have more business coming in, we're going to have more staff that we're hiring, and there's going to be a lag time between the two. So there's some stuff we're just going to have to flat out turn away because we're not going to have the capacity to do it all. Mm-hmm. And hopefully we'll continue to hire some people and find some good people to join us, and that'll all catch up and even out. One of the things that kind of blew my mind, a couple weeks ago I sent out an email to the whole office and I said, hey, between these dates, a week and a half before Christmas and Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving Day, so it's like 10 days.
Yeah.
I said, if you haven't asked for PTO, if you haven't asked for time off, if you haven't asked to work remote, don't.
It's a blackout date.
These are blackout dates. Don't ask for time off in these periods. If you already have it, fine. But don't ask for more time off because I need all hands on deck as we do this switch and, this expansion takes effect. I need everybody to be there. I thought most people understood it pretty well. I apparently stepped on some toes inadvertently, and I still don't personally think it's reasonable the way that some people felt like their toes were stepped on, because I literally had some people questioning about whether or not they could take time off in December. And the email was very clear that was just up until Thanksgiving.
I thought you guys were talking to lawyers. So can they not read? Like, this is date to date.
That's not, well, with some staff members too. And but regardless.
Staff members should be able to read a contract or read something like, hey, from the 1st to the 10th of November, don't ask.
I don't disagree with you.
December,
I don't disagree with you.
That doesn't fall within
if you read the words on the page, it's very clear. What I have learned again and again, though, as a business owner, is when you expect people to change the way that they understand and they communicate, you're probably an idiot. Yeah. You have to be able to communicate with them in a way that they're going to understand. Oh my God. And so as much as I feel like I'm getting kicked in the balls sometimes on this stuff, you have to kind of shift things to make it work, right? So I'm not entirely sure how I would approach that again if I did it over again, if I would change anything, because I still don't know that I did anything that was wrong in that situation.
I would just come back with like, what is unclear about this? Like my kids ask me, like my 5-year-old will ask me these questions, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, no one came directly to me.
Of course, they never do. They just talk about it in the break room.
Yeah,
or group chat after.
We work hard to have a good office culture.
Yeah.
Right. You want to go to your kids' play in the middle of the day? I want you to go to that play.
Just get your work done.
Get your work done. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to take off in the middle of the day to go to stuff for my kids and my family. And, I don't live to work. I work so I can live.
For sure.
But there are times where we need everybody to be on point, ready to go, working hard. And every so often,
you'll get a week of blackout date.
I just need you to black out.
That's not in December.
It's not even a time. So, but I think that I'm sure somewhere in there's a lesson for me to learn to be a better manager. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Maybe somebody out there can point out to me what it is. I don't know.
Did you ever ask them?
I haven't asked those people individually because what I don't want to do is I don't want to. It's kind of like the telephone game, right? Yeah. Somebody else has told me that this is what they said. And if it's not important enough for them to come talk to me about it, I'm a little hesitant to go to them and be like, hey, I heard you're pissed off about this. I don't want to put them on the defensive. I kind of feel like if it was important enough to them, they would have come to me and said something. But I don't know. We'll see.
I would say the game of telephone definitely can get out of hand. The longer line down.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I have somebody in a different world, not in our office, who has commented to me a couple of different times about issues they're having with somebody else communicating with them that's a supervisor for them. And they've asked me to intercede on a couple of occasions, and it's not my job. And, the better route is for them to talk to them directly.
Calmly, directly, clearly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and
that's
generally the way to go. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I heard you said this, and this is not middle school. Let's not go that direction.
All right. So basically, don't build a second house when the foundation on the first one is cracked.
Yes. Yeah. Don't buy that luxury car because you think you're going to see lots of profit before you see it.
No, do that after, maybe a long time. That's a
good way to celebrate when things have leveled off and you've got a good, comfortable idea about where things are going. Fantastic.
After a solid 12 months.
Yeah.
Of that expansion going well.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Then do that.
Hopefully. Yeah. 100%.
It's a good idea. Don't chase the Instagram reels.
No. Right. No.
Should we do some deal or dumbbell?
Let's play deal or dumbbell. I'm looking forward to this.
It's the expansion edition. So I've got 7 scenarios. You tell me whether it's a deal, a good thing, or a dumbbell, a bad thing. Expanding because the competitor down the street is doing it.
That is a dumbbell all the way.
Absolutely.
You got to look at your own business and figure out what's right for you.
Exactly. Definitely no comparisons. Expanding because demand has been rising steadily for a year.
For a year, that's a pretty good sign.
A year is 12 months. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hiring before you have the systems documented.
That's a dumbbell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Opening a new location solely because rent is cheap.
That is a dumbbell as well. I will say this. If you find there's cheap rent somewhere and you want to expand and you see an opportunity there, those things can work hand in hand.
As long as the timelines kind of match up.
Yeah. But having rent where you're not making money and you're having more headaches isn't necessarily worth it. So
nope. Expanding when your existing team is maxed out and drowning.
This is an interesting one. I'm actually going to say that this is a deal. And the reason I'm going to say this is because when you have that level of business, it is a sign that you need to expand.
Yeah.
If you're content with what you've got and you don't want to deal with any more administrative things, you don't want to hire anybody else, you don't want to have the additional risk because there is risk, then fine, stay the way it's at. But when you're looking at expanding because you're at capacity, that is a good time.
Yeah. I'll say the other option, if that's the case, also raise your price.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. That's the perfect time to raise your price.
Yeah.
Because then if it stays maxed out, we're like, oh, maybe we should either raise it again or expand more.
I'm a firm believer. And I don't like the idea of doing things at volume at a low price. No. I don't like that at all.
Nope.
There are certain industries where that can make a whole lot of sense.
Yep.
Professional services,
not the one.
I don't like it. I would rather have fewer clients, charge them more money. That's reasonable.
Yes.
But
you're not gouging.
No, absolutely not.
Doing it for free.
No, absolutely not. And I don't ever want there. We have a particular line of business that we've had for a long time that is our lowest profit margin. I look forward to when I can say we're not doing this anymore. The only reason we're still doing it right now is because we have a couple of lawyers in our office who like to do it. Mm-hmm. It is good training ground for our younger attorneys, but it's low dollar value and it's kind of a pain. So I look forward to getting rid of that.
That's like it's funny when you can see that across other professions.
Oh yeah.
Borrowing to expand even though cash flow is inconsistent.
That is a dumbbell. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, not a good.
When you're expanding, if you're borrowing to do it, you got to really think that through.
It's a big risk.
Big risk.
Because that means probably if the cash flow is inconsistent, there's other steps ahead that probably didn't get done.
Yeah. There are times, absolutely, where the only way to expand is to borrow.
Yeah.
Right? When we got the building that we're in now, we bought the building. We borrowed. We had zero debt as a business at that point.
Nice.
And that was good debt to take on.
For sure.
Because we were already paying rent.
Yep. Plus, it's an asset that's building.
100%. So that was an easy move to make. Right now, because I looked briefly, I looked at the idea of buying a business condo in Chicago. I thought, oh, well, you know what? I could buy a business condo and maybe that's worthwhile.
There's a reason why it's available in Chicago.
The's a reason why it's available. That is part of it.
Everyone dipped out.
Everybody dipped. So that's part of it. And then the other piece of it is right now, I don't know that this is going to be something that we're going to need.
Yep.
Or the size we're going to need. For us to buy something right now would be absurd.
Yeah, no. Renting a room for a little bit, smart.
Yeah.
That's how we kind of filled our 9 rooms.
Yeah.
Expanding to capture an opportunity before competitors do, even if it's a stretch.
I think that's a dumbbell. I think
that's like a middle ground.
I think that's a risky strategy.
Yep.
I think that can work. It kind of depends on what your risk tolerance is, where your capital's at. If you have the cash and you're a risky person and you don't mind to do that,
high risk tolerances.
You gotta.
My thought process there on that one is like when you expand to capture the opportunity before competitors. It's like when like the suburbs are expanding. I could see like real estate going out that way.
Yeah.
Or, like there's gonna be like a huge housing project. Like I was driving by Seven Bridges, and on the way like to the office this morning, I was like, I wonder if there's a chiropractor around Seven Bridges because they're building
the giant townhomes that are going.
The townhomes there. Like, oh, that'd be interesting.
So that makes an interesting point because depending upon the industry you're in, you see expansion of certain industries. Let's take a coffee shop.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest one, right? Yeah. If you see that there is a housing development that's gone in that has 200 homes, and the average home has 4 people in it, right? And there's no coffee shop within a mile of that. That might be a pretty good investment, So you do your market analysis, great. But what happens when Starbucks moves in next door?
I was going to say, which coffee shop are we opening? Are we pulling Starbucks? Is Starbucks franchised or is that corporate?
I think Starbucks is 100% corporate because they're publicly traded. Dunkin' is a franchise.
Yep.
Scooters, that's a fast-growing franchise. That's
Seven Brew.
I looked at buying a Scooters franchise at one point. A little over a year ago.
I don't know if I like the Scooters one that's across our.
I haven't been to the one across from you yet. But I've been to another one in Aurora.
Say the cold brew is good, but the mixed drinks are very sweet.
Yeah, but the point of expanding to capture an opportunity before competitors do, you can do it. I think it depends on the industry you're in because if you have an 800-pound gorilla that comes in that everybody knows and it's got the branding, then you may have a problem.
You're screwed. That's yeah. I would say,
but for you,
industry specific.
I don't know of a chiropractic national office that has a great reputation.
There isn't.
I don't think that's a thing.
There isn't.
Right?
There's the joint, and that in the chiro world, that's more like the ugly redheaded stepchild.
I think most people and this is industry specific. I think most people that go for professional services, they're not going for the brand name.
No,
they're going because of the relationships that they have with people and the reputation that place has developed.
For sure.
Right. So
there's like smaller, more local brands on some of the professional services and things that can help. But yeah, I'm not. I would not want to go to those types of things. If I'm going for like food, I still like the mom and pops, but at least I like consistency at Wendy's.
Yeah, absolutely. Any advice for people as they're going through expansions from a doctor standpoint, managing stress or how to take care of yourself?
Quill's corner.
Not that I'm looking for personal advice, but I could use some.
Don't skip the workouts in the morning. Because
stick to your normal routine.
Stick to the routine. Because again, to me, there's only so much work you can do in a set period of time. Like for me, when I was in school, I never did an all-nighter because I knew if I was going to stay up all night and try and cram everything in, I'd forget it anyways.
You got to pay the price.
So I'd read my notes a couple times through, go to sleep because I also knew once you start doing that, that's when it starts moving into more long-term memory, and then. Yeah, it just sticks better. Yeah. So sacrificing sleep does have a negative outcome at the long term. So
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
But then also the exercise is better for cortisol, gets all the juices flowing.
There you go.
Do you know your good time where you can get work done? Between 6 and 8 a.m. professionally, or you have a good if I can sit down between 10 and noon,
so
I get a shit ton of stuff done.
It depends on what I'm trying to work on. Mm-hmm. So I have a brief that I have to file today. It's written. I just need to do one final review of it and then upload it to the docket system. That brief I've been trying to write nonstop for 3 weeks. But for me to get time to sit down, do research, do the writing, because of all the other management stuff I have to do, is incredibly challenging. Yep. So I pushed back a workout 2 days ago to sit down and write the brief. And I wrote most of it during that time. I had already done some.
So like 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
That's your master of genius?
4:30 I was up. Yeah, 4:30 I was up working on my computer trying to get done before my kids get up, before anything else happens. Back in the day, when I wasn't working out pretty consistently every morning, before my kids were going to school, at least the way they are now, I would go to the office sometimes at 6 in the morning, and I'd be there from 6 to like 8:30 before anybody else got in. Uninterrupted.
Yep.
Get a ton of stuff done. It's very useful. I'd have a TV so I could watch morning news or whatever. I can get a lot of stuff done if I stay there in the evening, but honestly, nowadays, because I get up so early and I go work out and everything else, I want to go home. I don't want to do that. On the rare occasions that I go in the office on the weekend, I'm incredibly productive.
Yep. So no interruptions.
No interruptions. Phone's not ringing. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's coming and asking questions. All of those things are good ways to do it. I think this is different for everybody. And there are some things that I cannot do at home that I have to do in the office during the normal work hours. That's just a reality.
Yep. But
when people figure out how they work productively, huge value professionally. Huge value.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this morning I spent 2 or 3 hours just talking with ChatGPT, trying to figure out like one problem that's been a huge bottleneck for us. I'm getting very close, but ChatGPT just keeps like messing up some of the code on the spreadsheet that I'm trying to get it to do. But
really,
I'm getting close. Maybe I'll have to restart. I don't know. But I couldn't do that if I was like on a normal day, Monday through Wednesday. I don't have enough time to do that.
Yeah.
At home, I need to go to bed, so I can't get. That's like Tuesday mornings, or the one time I could actually get it done. So
yeah. Well, at the end of the day, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not gonna be able to take care of anything else.
Nope, not at all.
So gotta stay healthy.
Definitely.
All right. Well, so let's wrap this thing up here. If you take nothing else away from today, remember that expansion is a strategy. It's not a stunt. Winners are disciplined, patient, and data-driven.
Definitely. And don't expand for your ego. Expand because the market is telling you there's room, and because your systems can support it. Definitely systems.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
So that wraps us up. Episode 25 of Dads, Deals, and Dumbbells. If today's conversation gave you something to chew on, share it with another dad, another business owner, or anyone trying to grow without losing the remaining hair on their head. Luckily, I think we don't have that issue.
No, we're doing well there.
Solid. We're solid.
At least for now. Make sure you follow, subscribe, hit all the stars, all the algorithmic nonsense that keeps us alive. It helps the podcast grow. We would greatly appreciate that. And if you've expanded your business recently or you're thinking about doing it, message us. Maybe we'll ask you to be on the show. That's a great time to have a little extra exposure, even from our little podcast.
Yes.
We'd love to hear about that.
Definitely put that in the comments. Stay strong in family, stay sharp in business, and consistent in the gym, no matter the expansion.
There you go. And we will see you next week on Dads, Deals, and Dumbbells.